For as long as humanity has possessed the capacity to wonder, we have stood beneath the canopy of the night sky and asked a single, haunting question: are we alone? For centuries, this inquiry belonged to the poets, the dreamers, and the philosophers. It was a question asked in silence, answered only by the cold, twinkling indifference of the stars. But that silence has finally been broken. We have moved from the era of speculation into the era of observation. The moment we have waited for, and perhaps feared, has arrived. It began with an anomaly. An object traced back to the distant region of 3I-ATLAS entered our solar system. At first glance, it appeared to be nothing more than another piece of cosmic debris, a rock, a shard of ice, a silent wanderer in the dark. But as it drew closer, it defied every rule we know. It did not tumble like a dead stone. It did not outgush simple chemicals like a comet warming in the sun. It moved with intention. It adjusted. And most terrifyingly, it survived. This object endured the absolute zero of interstellar space. It weathered the bombardment of cosmic radiation that should have shredded any biological material. And then it plunged into the inferno of Earth's atmosphere. We watched, expecting it to burn, to disintegrate into a streak of fire and ash. It did not. It pierced the veil of our world and emerged on the other side, not as a molten lump of metal, but as something intact, something alive. This singular event forces us to tear up the textbooks we have written about life. We have long believed that life is fragile, a delicate candle flame that requires the sheltering hands of a planetary atmosphere, the warmth of a sun, and the presence of liquid water to survive. We believed life was a localized phenomenon, huddled in the Goldilocks zones of the universe. This visitor proves us wrong. It suggests that life is not merely a passenger on planets, but a conqueror of voids. It does not just adapt to environments, it overcomes them. When scientists turned their instruments toward this object, the data was baffling. Spectroscopic analysis, our way of reading the chemical fingerprint of distant matter, showed something impossible for a lifeless rock. It wasn't just reflecting sunlight, it was absorbing energy and re-emitting it in localized, fluctuating patterns. It was managing its own internal state. The surface structure shifted and changed, not because of the wind or heat, but in response to them. It demonstrated a level of complex, organized adaptability that we associate only with living systems. It was retaining matter when it needed to, and releasing it when necessary, implying a biological mechanism governing its interaction with the vacuum of space. The implications of this are shattering. If an organism can survive the journey between stars, it means biology is not bound by the limitations we assumed. On Earth, we evolved to compete with each other in a stable environment. We develop lungs for air, fins for water, eyes for light. But this organism suggests an evolutionary path shaped by instability itself. It has evolved to withstand the fundamental hostility of the universe, entropy, radiation, and time scales measuring in the millions of years. It hints at a biology that blurs the line with physics, a form of life that is perhaps less flesh and blood, and more a dynamic, engineered interaction between matter and energy. This discovery moves the question of what is life from a biological debate to a physical one. We have defined life by reproduction, metabolism, and response to stimuli. But what if life is simply a state of organized complexity that can persist against the chaos of the universe? This visitor forces us to consider that the universe itself may be an incubator, not just on the surface of wet, warm rocks like Earth, but in the vast, dark spaces between them. However, with discovery comes danger. This is not a movie monster, nor is it a deity to be worshipped. It is a biological entity, and that simple fact carries immense risk. We must remember that our ecosystem on Earth is a closed loop. We have evolved defenses against the viruses and bacteria of our own world. We have no shield against a biology that evolved in the dark of space. Even without hostile intent, A truly alien organism could disrupt our cellular processes or our microbial balance simply by existing. The history of human exploration is littered with tragedies where the introduction of the unknown led to catastrophe. We cannot afford to be reckless. This moment demands a new kind of responsibility. It is a test of our maturity as a species. The arrival of this life form is not a trophy for a single nation to claim, nor a weapon to be studied in secret. It is a subject that demands global cooperation, absolute transparency, and a profound ethical constraint. We are no longer just observers of the cosmos. We are now active participants in a larger story. We have a duty not only to protect Earth, but to treat this new discovery with the respect due to another living thing. If life is rare, it is precious. If it is common, it is a community to which we now belong. The psychological shift this triggers is perhaps the most profound change of all. For thousands of years, our religions, our philosophies, and our sciences have placed humanity at the center of the narrative. Even as we learned the Earth orbits the Sun, and the Sun is one of billions, we held on to the belief that we were the only ones looking up. That loneliness is gone. The arrival of life from beyond Earth dissolves the illusion of our uniqueness. We are not a miracle suspended in a dead void. We are part of a living continuum. This realization humbles us, but it does not diminish us. It reframes the human story. We are one chapter in a galactic library that is still being written. It suggests that intelligence, consciousness, and complexity are not accidents, but natural emergent properties of the universe. The universe wants to be alive. It wants to be aware. As we stand at this threshold, looking at an organism that has crossed the abyss of stars to reach us, we are faced with a choice. We can respond with fear, hoarding knowledge and building walls, or we can respond with wisdom. We can choose to see this not as a threat, but as a mirror showing us what life is capable of. This is the turning point. The silence is over. The universe has reached out and touched us, reminding us that we are not isolated and we are not finished. The future is no longer just about us. It is about our place in a vast living system. We must move forward with courage, with curiosity, and above all, with unity. Because from this moment on, we are not just citizens of Earth. We are citizens of the cosmos.